While for some, Diddy's become hip-hop's #1 villain, but over the years, he's made so many enemies, and ultimately, many people were simply delighted to hear of the news of his downfall. One of these people is known to be a hip-hop villain for perhaps less dark reasons. That person is 50 Cent, one of hip-hop's biggest trolls. He took Diddy's downfall as prime time to dish out all of his impending hate against his longtime music industry nemesis. Even months before the allegations came to light, 50 would often take to Instagram to throw jabs at the diddler, such as posting the infamous Lil Baby picture from Michael Rubin's annual White Party, where 50 Cent vowed to never attend a party where Diddy is attended.
You have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
but I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Speaking of, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Did He Do It?
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle. You weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
I know you're not really tapped in, but what
the last thing I saw was like a guy there. He was like, yo, he like pushed me into the truck. It really hurt. And he sodomized me. Like he sodomized me. I was like, yo, look, I could find other things to do for money. Did you see the video? Find other things to do for money. But I'm not sure I can say that for money. Somebody pushed me.
How much is this guy trying to get?
I don't know. Like it's a simple suit situation, but it's like
20 mil, I can say it.
You still have to black his face out.
Yes.
You still have to mimic his voice because he's like,
but his
damn.
voice wasn't even that different.
And that a little deeper. I was like, almost like, no, that's you, young buck.
Yo,
I almost felt like it was him. I almost knew who it was.
Damn.
You know what I mean? I was like, nah.
Yo, you can't say that dudes are having with other dudes, bro. The internet might come for you. Yeah, you say sweet love.
Yes,
You gotta say make sweet love.
That's
young buck breaking right there.
Make sweet love.
There's rules to rap beef now, bro. Not in your day.
Well, I'm saying like, God, man,
good.
why is your homeboy so close to you when you come out of that? Look like you guys just made sweet love. I'm gonna say sweet love instead of anything that says.
To me, that's better because they're gonna try to make it something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was smart. Like I didn't think about that. I say things that are borderline, like, I'm like, oh my God, you're in trouble.
You?
Like, all the time. Because I just say.
Nah, but you got close when he offered to take you shopping.
Yeah, you see, now Meek is in the same shirt. He's out there in the same shirt. This is not for. This is really happening. I'm just saying to you. No, stop. Stop it, man. You set that up. Look, you set that up. There's he's in the same shirt.
What do you mean he's in the same shirt?
He obviously was not offended by what I was offended by. This is what I'm saying, bro. Like you go, I'm like, nah, it was odd. Like, this is some of the things that people say. Like, girls, guys may say to a girl, like, let me take a shot. See?
Damn.
They found it that quick.
What do you think is happening in the middle?
I don't know what is going on.
Wow,
there.
they found Kendrick and Wifey.
You can't dress up Kendrick like that. Oh, you can't dress him up like that. That's like the white chicks movie, bro. You can't do that.
Yeah, that was comedy. That was good.
Yeah, but that
get away with Wifey.
That's obviously doing shopping. They got the same outfit.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's a nice shirt. That's a nice shirt. All right, so when he said the shopping line in real life, what did you say?
I said, let me get away from him. Because he was like, yo, you hot now. Now we gotta hang out now. Like, hang out.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know, maybe I'll take you shopping and I get you some flash and you could give me the hood. And I was looking and I was like, let me just move away from him because I'm gonna mess up the wedding. I always say to myself,
it was someone's wedding?
It was Chris Lighty's wedding. It was in Miami. Nori's there. Nori knows this because I looked at him like, yo. You heard what he just said, right? He's like, yo, certain things they let it go by because it's Puff. Like they would look, like he would say stuff and it's like, he wasn't like in the closet, he was like in the hallway. Now you see so much that you go away. No, this was visible.
He was in the hallway. We saw the video.
We saw that video. It comes out later. You're like, that's not the closet. That's the hallway. He didn't get
Like, you could tell that he was already...
Nah, New York is dope. Because when Fab, he was like, yo, Fab, we ain't party. Fab was like, nah, we partying tonight.
He's like, no, like, but he did party.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, they let that one go? Like, I had to say something about it later because I was like, oh, it was fair.
What does it feel like all these years, you being the only one calling this out?
I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long
They
time.
said you're a hater. They
You're
said
a
you're
hater.
crazy.
You do this, yeah. And now everybody's complaining. My ass hurting. This all is coming.
50, you can't make jokes about it.
No.
The internet might come for you, bro.
All I'm saying
It
is,
might come from
you see it now. All of these complaints. People were damned. They were raped and pillaged. This was what was going on, right? And what do I get for the? I went through years of a hater. You're a hater. You want this and that. I'm just watching. Like, I look at things and go. When you see the new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay, I go, oh shoot, like. Then I think about it, I go, that had to be there. So when I was saying that he was missing, he just wasn't actively being out there because they was dealing with that.
Wait, do you think there's truth to the Jay thing? There's no way.
Like that, look, you know what's like if you say, I have this thing where I'm conflicted when it takes you 20 years to remember something happened to you.
The entertainment world was shaken when 50 Cent announced his latest documentary focusing on the controversial life and career of Diddy. Known for uncovering hidden truths, 50 Cent claims there's a group of powerful celebrities actively working.
Now let's bring in TMC's Michael Babcock. Good morning to you, Michael.
Morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing all right. So tell us what's going on with this. We understand rapper 50 Cent has been shopping this around.
Yeah, and you know what? I think a lot of people thought that 50 was just trolling, and if anyone follows 50 on Twitter or Instagram, you know, he's no stranger to that. He definitely, you know, engages in trolling and makes a lot of jokes. So when he had, you know, repeatedly taken shot after shot after shot at Diddy and then said, hey, I'm working on a documentary, I think a lot of people thought that he was just joking around. It turns out he's not. So this is actually a real project that's being made under his G-Unit movie and TV studio, and he's made a bunch of really successful projects under that banner. They were actually selling it around to different streaming, organizations, including Netflix. Netflix ultimately had the most money, placed the winning bid, and at some point here in the future, we don't know exactly when, but this is actually going to be something that airs on Netflix.
So many people may not know. I mean, the two of them have had beef for decades. 50 Cent has kept his foot on Diddy's neck for decades.
Absolutely. Like they once worked together a long time ago. They're not friends now. They don't like each other. And yeah, 50 has taken every shot, especially when Diddy has been down. Diddy really, is not in a position right now to fire back at 50 Cent. So yeah, he's taken a lot of, and I don't know that anyone feels sorry for P. Diddy right now, to be honest.
No, I don't think so either. And it's certainly not going to end anytime soon.
In one corner, the disgraced hip-hop impresario under federal indictment for a laundry list of shocking crime. In the other, his nemesis, ready to cash in on Sean Combs' misfortune. Puffy's latest legal battle has reignited one of rap's biggest feuds.
Wanna be ballers, shot callers, brawlers.
Between Diddy and 50.
Many men. Many men.
After months of teasing, he would be unleashing a Diddy Do It documentary. It's now official. The big headline, Netflix is producing a docuseries from Curtis 50 Cent Jackson about the federal charges of trafficking and the allegations against Diddy Combs. 50 tweeted the announcement. I've been telling y'all about this weird expletive. You didn't believe me, but I bet you believe me now.
I take you to the candy shop.
It's just the latest salvo in the war of words that's been waging between the two for more than a decade.
Go, Charlotte. It's your birthday.
The feud blew up shortly after 50 hit it big. He claimed Diddy had information about the killing of Notorious B.I.G. Claims Diddy, of course, denied. They even allegedly got into a physical fight at the 2012 BET Awards. For saying here, right now, you're never going to beef with anyone else publicly? 50 made this promise about shooting from the lip when he joined me here in 2020. You're a scrapper. I think this is like an alcoholic going into a bar. I don't know. Someone takes a shot on you in Insta, you might be responsible.
I got a new way to respond. I'm like, brother, why is my inner peace interrupting your demons?
The 50's been trolling Diddy online ever since the civil lawsuit started flying last year.
I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
After that apology, following the CNN broadcast of that hotel on then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, 50 wrote, "This is not going to work."
50 producing a doc about Diddy at his lowest moment is like the ultimate trolling.
We spoke with music journalist and author Torre today.
50 Cent and whatever team he assembles could find some things that we haven't heard yet, may be able to compel some people to talk. Now, whether or not it's fair, just telling the Diddy story will be embarrassing to Diddy.
50 told us this about his Netflix doc. This is a story with significant human impact. It is a complex narrative spanning decades, not just the headlines or clips seen so far. Joined by CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister. Wags, Diddy's attorney says he can't wait to testify. For what? For what purpose? To blow people up or to exonerate himself?
Look, Diddy has maintained his innocence all along. For him to take the stand is a huge gamble. He can deny every allegation in the world, but prosecutors say that they have a treasure.
Clip 1. The entertainment world was shaken when 50 Cent announced his latest documentary focusing on the controversial life and career of Diddy. Known for uncovering hidden truths, 50 Cent claims there's a group of powerful celebrities actively working to suppress his project. But why? Let's dive into the drama and uncover the layers of this unfolding story.
One person who was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent. And it turns out that it's just been announced that he's created a docu-series on Netflix. I can't wait to see this. The other end of that, every person who has tried to speak out about this, who has tried to speak out about the industry, the type of people that are controlling the industry, the attacks that people face from the media if they try to speak out, is always the same. They're called crazy. And an example of one such individual who went through those sorts of attacks is the actor Orlando Brown. He was on Disney, and I remember everyone telling us that he was totally insane and deranged when he was saying a lot of things that at the time sounded crazy, particularly about Diddy. Take a listen.
The requirement is you gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he's gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take the, but he won't you.
Diddy, to me, is the fall guy. We are still seeing a major effort to protect the big names, just like...
At the center of this storm is Diddy, one of the most influential figures in the music industry. From his groundbreaking work with Bad Boy Records to his business ventures, Diddy's journey has been legendary. However, 50 Cent's documentary promises to reveal a darker side, one that some believe could tarnish Diddy's legacy forever.
And the other one was on the I Get Money remix.
Yeah.
But they said you wrote it and it's him confessing the crime. Did you see this?
No,
did you see
man,
the meme? Look at the meme. Look at the DA. Look at that.
I ain't tell him to say that.
And then this one.
Jay, help me with that. Jay, help me with that. Jay, help me with that. Jay did that part right there when he said,
cut it out, man.
Shootouts, coast to beat. I wasn't around, but I was like East Coast, West Coast. That was it. And then Keefy D comes out and says, you know, I'm not involved in this stuff.
There's so many rappers who actually warned us about Diddy and what he was up to. 50 Cent is one of them. He's regularly trolled Diddy. He's regularly put up clips like this, Donald Trump.
Puffy, you stupid. I told you stop f***ing with R. Kelly. I said grab them in the don't kidnap the. They raided your. You see, I got a courtesy call when they raided my house.
And now it turns out that he was right. This is not a shock to anybody. He's continuing to troll Diddy. The photo of him and Drew Barrymore saying he doesn't have 1,000 bottles of baby oil. This is part of the freak-off parties that Diddy used to have. The contents of which I can't actually explain here because I don't want to get the channel banned, but they're awful. You can read the indictment yourself. Yeah, the trolling will continue. Why you have 1,000 bottles of baby oil? Do I even want to know?
50, please be my friend. You're breaking my heart.
Puff was like, so when we gonna get the chance to kick it, like we could just hang out. Why don't we go shopping? I pay for it. And I was like, what the say? I got the
away from him because I was like, this nigga.
You asked him to take him shopping. Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes. What? I'm a nice guy. Why are you in 50? Hey, yo, he loves me. Y'all can't see it? Y'all can't see that he loves me? You know he loves me.
Oh, that was a fruit pile. This it goes off. You see these clear pictures I think for no reason. You don't see accident pictures with me like this.
I'll take you to the candy shop. I'll let you. Don't you stop. Keep going till you hit the stop.
You're not gonna believe this, but I just got a call and Puffy's confirmed the Shreveport. It's lit. Nah.
I need to go. Everybody scared to drink. Wake up, your butt sore.
Tell him the story.
Tell him the story. So we talking about rumors. Right?
Yeah.
And we, you know, when you Google his name, there's a rumor that pops up that he was Diddy's boy toy.
Oh,
right.
Wait, so this is
so Charlamagne said
it's not true, but I told after he brought up the stuff with you, I said, you know what 50 gonna say when he meets you?
Oh no, I don't know that was going on.
You know,
I can't wait to run into him again.
What you gonna say to him?
Puffy was playing with your booty in Miami.
You know what 50 gonna say to you when he sees you. I heard Diddy touch your butt.
Yeah. Wait till I see him. Wait till I see him. I'm like, yo. Yeah.
I love you, my brother. No P. Diddy.
One of the surprising names on 50 Cent's alleged blacklist is Young Buck, a former G-Unit member. Their rocky relationship has been well documented, and now rumors suggest that Buck might be siding with those opposing the documentary. Could this be a case of past grudges influencing present alliances?
Yeah.
What was that like?
50 was the type of dude that kept like a little, he kept like a little pad with him. He wrote everything down. You understand? Me and him caught the plane. We was going to Vegas. And I gave him my card. My business card was savoir faire, security, management, and everywhere. You know what I mean? So 50 did a song about that. You know what I'm saying? And he put that in the song. And some years, about a year or so ago, not even a year or so ago, he said that when he dropped my name, he said, yo, I got the savoir faire. I got that from Big Gene. He been trying to tell y'all about this Puff years ago. But 50 was the type of dude that if you knew he was with you, he was with you. Even back then, he had your back whether you was security or whatever you did. If he was with you, he was with you. And that's what you gotta love about him. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta question his loyalty, you know what I'm saying, on some fight or if you in a situation. Cause he going out.
Well, I guess you were hanging around him or knew him, right before he got shot.
Well, what happened was that I had got some information. 50 came to my house. I tried to fit him on a vest, but I'm like, at the time I was like a 3X. And 50 was like a large, you know what I'm saying? So he couldn't really fit the vest, but I gave him a cover to try to tell him, because he had some pads, some vest pads. So I just told him what the situation was that I knew. And told him he had to watch himself because those cats was gonna come at him. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah. And he was supposed to be going to Cancun. And I told him, if you come to Cancun, I got you, because I used to be down there doing security at Daddy-O's. You understand? And I had people down there that I knew that was from Puerto Rico, and they was working down there, so they should make sure when I hit the island, anything and everything I needed, I could get it right there on the island. You understand? They worked directly with the syndicate. So 50 was supposed to come down there to do a show, and he didn't make it because they had shot him up. I don't know if he was coming in the first place, but he was supposed to because he was paid half the money to come down there to perform How to Rob an Industry Cat.
And when was the next time you seen him after that?
The next time I seen 50 after that was at Jack the Rapper. He had blew up. He had blew up, man. He was like, You know, he was this dude and everything like that. And I was sitting in we was in Puerto Rico, and I was sitting by myself, just chilling, and he had his whole entourage with him. He came directly over to me. He like, yo, Gene. I was like, yo, what up, Fifth? I said, what up, 50? He said, what's up, man? He said, yo, put his hand out to me and grabbed my hand. He said, yo, they can't stop what God got planned. Went on about his business. And then he blew up crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about 50 going so hard at Diddy with the documentaries and, you know, man, what did he do to 50 that made him hate him so much, man? That's crazy.
Well, I think it's just, you know, you got to look at it like this. 50 was writing a lot of that made a lot of money for Diddy. And he knew back then in the day, he didn't know what he know now, but Diddy was robbing him.
The notorious B.I.G., though no longer with us, is still a central figure in this narrative. Diddy and Biggie shared a close bond, but 50 Cent's documentary reportedly touches on controversial aspects of their partnership. Could this be another reason why some want the documentary shelved?
You want to work on?
Oh, just the ones that I feel like have a high probability of success. I'm just looking at it and saying, what is it? And is it something that excites me? Would I want to stop and watch it?
Speaking of, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It?
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else. But I did feel uncomfortable with the way he would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it, just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like, when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little hard.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z?
That was interesting. When I was saying things, not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. You know, so I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally, those accusations are crazy.
You have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
but I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
Was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what was going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky. All of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal. You go into the 90s, and Kiki D said he paid him to kill Tupac.
Yeah.
It's a little, you get the craziest accusations.
You're one of the first persons in entertainment to really call out people and kind of have that authority in that, to be able to call people out. I mean, which is pretty amazing. You're kind of, in some ways, draining the swamp of Hollywood.
Yeah, I don't have a support system. I don't have a support system of a peer group of artists that I require to do what I'm doing. I've had to be on my own from the beginning. So I don't necessarily have a responsibility to behave a certain way, according to them. And look, if I didn't have an award-winning director doing it, if I hadn't put the right people in place to produce it properly, I wouldn't understand why they would question or doubt anything,
Now, Fifth, when you continuously call Puff gay, does that affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said,
Let me read it, Fifth.
Oh my God.
Sorry I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Dinner thieves
in theaters January 19th.
That's why he says things. He doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he says something fabulous and he goes, yo, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party. What is he talking about? That's the kind of stuff that when people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago. At Chris Lighty's wedding, he told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of no. Take me. That's what a guy says to a girl.
50 Cent sells Diddy doc to Netflix after bidding war. Hey, I'm gonna put it like this. I'm gonna watch it. I think it's something that we all should watch. You know, and look, it's something that there are reasons why the industry is so quiet.
Jay-Z, a titan in the music industry, has also been mentioned in connection to this controversy. While there's no direct evidence linking him to efforts to block the documentary, 50 Cent hinted at a web of power that includes some of hip-hop's biggest names. Is Jay-Z a part of this web?
In the lawsuit against Jay-Z, accusing him and Sean Diddy Combs of a 13-year-old girl at a party, a federal judge ruling the woman alleging the attack can remain anonymous. Morgan Norwood has the details. Morgan, good morning.
Whit, good morning. From the moment this case was filed, Jay-Z's legal team fought to get it dismissed, arguing that the woman accusing him must reveal her name. But this morning, a judge ruling she doesn't have to, at least for now. The judge also had some sharp words for its lawyers, calling them out for their aggressive filings and personal attacks and asking them to tone it down.
This morning, a legal victory for the woman who is suing Jay-Z for allegedly her when she was 13. A federal judge ruling the woman can proceed with the case while remaining anonymous, at least for now. But the judge also chastising the lawyers representing Jay-Z, accusing them of trying to fast-track the judicial process by repeatedly filing motions to reveal the identity of the Jane Doe to have the case dismissed. The judge writing in a 5-page brief that the Carter's lawyers' relentless filing of combative motions containing inflammatory language and ad hominem attacks is inappropriate, a waste of judicial resources, and a tactic unlikely to benefit his client. The court will not fast-track the judicial process merely because the counsel demands it. This latest legal twist coming after the recently filed civil lawsuit by Jane Doe, claiming that Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, and P. Diddy, drugged and a 13-year-old girl at an after-party after the MTV Music Awards in 2000, while an unnamed celebrity watched. Jay-Z has vehemently denied all the allegations, putting out this statement 2 weeks ago, writing in part, "This is a blackmail attempt." The multi-platinum artist, who was 30 at the time, now a business mogul with decades of hits to his name, with songs like Run This Town.
We are, yeah, I said it, we are. This is Rock Nation, pledge your allegiance.
His attorneys have denied everything about Jane Doe's account and pointed to some alleged inconsistencies in her story.
It's not just that this story is a lie and that it's not true. It's provably, demonstrably false. This never happened.
The judge writing that while Jane Doe can remain anonymous for now, she may be required to reveal her identity at a later date to allow Jay-Z's lawyers to collect facts necessary to prepare for trial.
Oftentimes, when someone is accused of a crime like this, the accuser doesn't want to be named, and if they are forced to be named, we have seen certain people decide to drop the lawsuit altogether.
And just the day before this ruling, Jay-Z's wife Beyonce and his daughter Blue Ivy making a heralded appearance during a halftime of the Ravens-Texans game on Christmas Day on Netflix, performing a live show to an audience of more than 27 million viewers.
And just this morning, Tony Busby, the lawyer representing Jay-Z and Diddy's accuser, releasing a statement to ABC News, writing, "I will say that the coordinated and desperate efforts to attack me as counsel for alleged victims are falling flat. We won't be bullied or intimidated." We also reached out to Jay-Z and his team, but did not get a response, guys.
So it is crazy when after 20 years they come at that foul.
But with Puffy, you were the only one saying anything for decades.
Yeah, because we had our own little thing.
But you were the only. Everybody else was scared.
Huh?
But everybody else was scared. So you think maybe this is a similar thing where everybody else is scared? I don't know what it is. I'm just asking.
I think that they're scared.
But if they're scared,
But
then maybe
you've
that's
been
what I'm thinking.
insinuating Jay-Z a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you've been saying people are gonna come for him a little bit.
No, I thought he would do funky stuff like the Super Bowl. Like it was not okay for me to be at the Super Bowl.
Oh, he tried to cut that.
Yeah, he didn't want me to. Well, they worked to make like there was an issue with me in the NFL that doesn't exist.
So he did the corporate way of trying to keep you down. Oh, it's not me. It's them.
It's them. And then when M says he's not gonna do it if I'm not dead.
Let's go.
Yeah. You know.
That's what's your and Jay's issue?
It's just competitive stuff.
It's really just competitive.
This is what I'm saying. When it gets past actual art, like actual music, and you're trying to block something that's in business, then it feels weird.
Adding fuel to the fire is Beyoncé, Jay-Z's wife and one of the most powerful women in the entertainment world. Her connection to the story remains unclear, but 50 Cent has suggested that her influence could play a role in the larger scheme to protect certain individuals.
Charges themselves, they are amongst the most serious, which would involve very long periods of incarceration if convicted. But it also raises the question, if there was a plea deal at some point in the future, to plead down from these very serious charges, the lesser accepted offences would also be serious and could end up in prison.
I think any plea discussion of the case, because you have such significant impact on the victims of the case, would necessitate that he be sentenced to prison in some way. I just don't think that a judge would take and place him on probation or some type of house arrest given the allegations that were made, no matter what the plea discussions were. And remember, the prosecution and a defendant can negotiate a plea amongst themselves, but a court has the decision finally on whether or not to accept that recommendation, and ultimately has the authority to make a decision about whether or not a prison sentence is appropriate. We operate under the federal sentencing guidelines. Those give the judge some parameters to consider, things like whether or not somebody accepts responsibility, whether or not there have been an adverse impact on victims, whether or not there's been excessive fraud and deceit through the investigation of the case. Those things come into play as we talk about what might happen if there is a plea agreement that's ultimately reached.
It's important to remember, besides obviously he's innocent until proven guilty at the moment, but it's also important to remember that not being a nice person, being an unnice person, if you will, is not a crime. They're going to have to prove the elements of the offences in these cases. Just because he might not be likable is not enough to get you locked up.
As the drama unfolds, 50 Cent has taken to social media to call out these celebrities by name, creating a media frenzy. His posts, filled with accusations and bold statements, have left fans divided. Is he exposing the truth or simply stirring the pot?
Allegations, and he has a right to have his case tried in court, and the government has to prove that he's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The indictment, the allegations, we heard from the United States Attorney in New York, these are sordid details. They are these are things that a judge is going to have to consider as we go forward.
Finally, back to the logistics, if you will. He was prepared to turn himself in today, so we understand. The arrest removed from him the almost right to bail. Since I was going to turn myself in, I'm entitled to bail if I'd had turned myself in. By arresting him, the prosecution removed that possibility.
Well, they certainly removed the argument for him to make that he had turned himself in. It's mighty hard to, when you fly into town on a jet and you're there, to argue that there's no possible way you could be a flight risk. And that's one of the things the judge would consider. Another thing would be the nature of the charges, the allegations that were made. They span a long period of time. There were efforts to influence witnesses, it sounds like. At least that's been an allegation that has been made. These are all things that get put into that decision. The fact that he just would have turned himself in, that would have been in his favor. But there are so many other factors at play that it wouldn't have surprised me to see a court dig into those a little bit in making a decision on whether bail would be appropriate. And at this stage, a judge has determined that bail is not appropriate. He has a right, and has done apparently so, to appeal that decision and have another hearing on it. At that time, his lawyers would have a chance to make these arguments about, the efforts that he was making to cooperate and to get there. The term cooperation, frankly, sometimes gets to be a little loosey-goosey, depending on who's wanting to use the argument to their benefit.
We'll talk more.
Diddy, on the other hand, has largely remained silent. His silence, however, speaks volumes to some, who interpret it as an admission of guilt. Others argue that staying quiet is a strategic move to avoid adding fuel to the controversy.